Welcome to BL Stories, where romance, drama, and unforgettable boys' love come to life. Love knows no limits, and the best stories aren't always straight. Subscribe now and join our growing BL-loving family. Chapter 6. I pulled back the moment I realized what had just happened. The headache that had been haunting me all day vanished instantly, replaced by a dizzy rush I couldn't explain. My thoughts scattered like broken glass. What did? My voice faltered as my eyes wavered unsteady. I felt intoxicated, though not by alcohol. It was the aftertaste of Derek's kiss. "You just kissed me. Did you not want me to?" His lips curved into a half-smile. "Stop grinning," I snapped, my face burning. I clenched and unclenched my hands, trying to calm myself. The confusion only deepened, and my heart wouldn't stop racing. Derek's smile faded. "Did I do something wrong?" "Yeah," I whispered, slowly nodding. "You kissed me." "Obviously." I scooted back until I was against the wall, gasping as though the air itself was too heavy. My cheeks were still warm, and my chest ached with nerves. "Why?" I breathed out. "Because I like you." I stared at him. "And you just randomly kiss me? What if I'm straight, Derek?" "But you're not." "Well, straight guys don't exactly respond like I did." My words tumbled out awkwardly. "So, no, I'm not." "I'm sorry for surprising you," he murmured, lowering his gaze. "I didn't mean to make things harder." Suspicion rose in me. "How did you even know? Nicole told you, didn't she?" The house had grown quieter. The party had ended, and the music in the background was now nothing more than a faint hum. The sun was gone, leaving the pale glow of the moon in its place. "Remember when we went ice skating?" he asked. "Yeah." "Do you remember when Nicole stuck out her tongue at me?" My stomach dropped. "Oh no." "Oh yes." His smirk returned. "That was a sign?" I groaned. "She promised me she wouldn't tell anyone." "I feel betrayed." "She didn't exactly tell me," he admitted. "I asked her to find out if you might be interested in guys. She was supposed to give me a signal if you were." I shook my head, both embarrassed and annoyed. "So that's why you looked like you saw a ghost that day?" He chuckled softly. "Yeah." I studied him. "You don't really look gay. Or bisexual." "I only broke up with Vicky because I want to be with you." My heart stopped. For a second, I forgot how to breathe. My chest burned as though it were on fire. The boy I had secretly liked all this time wanted to be with me. But the truth hit just as hard. "I can't be with you." The words cut deeper than I expected. Pain throbbed in my forehead, still sore from when I'd been hit earlier. Derek leaned forward quickly, checking me. "Are you okay?" "I'll live." "Come here," he said gently, pulling me up and guiding me to the bed. Before I could reply, voices drifted from downstairs. "We're home." I shot away from him in a panic and raced toward the stairs. The moment I saw my mom, I threw my arms around her. Her familiar warmth grounded me. "Mom," I sighed against her shoulder. "I missed you." "I missed you too, honey," she said softly, wiping away a tear. Then she smiled. "I know I promised to cook tonight, but Steve and I are heading out with friends. We left you pizza, though." "That's fine," I said, eyeing the boxes on the table. Derek joined us, grabbing a slice. "Oh, pizza." I forced a smile, though my thoughts were tangled. How was I supposed to look at him the same way now? Later, as we sat together, Derek slid the pizza box closer to me. "So, why can't we date?" I froze, the slice halfway to my mouth. "Derek," I exhaled slowly. "I like you too, believe me I do. But our parents are together. It would feel wrong." "So what?" he said softly. "We aren't really brothers." "That's not the only thing. I'm not ready. I'm not up, Derek. I'm still so far in the closet I could find Narnia." He laughed at my attempt to lighten the mood. "This is why I like you. You're just too cute." I felt my face grow hot. "And I'm not out either," he added. "But I would be, for you." A smile tugged at my lips despite myself. No one had ever made me feel this way before. Yet, the invisible wall between us remained. "Kiss me," he whispered. My eyes widened. "What?" "Kiss me." "I'm not going to kiss you," I laughed nervously. "If you don't, I'll think you don't like me, and maybe I'll move on." "Derek, come on," I said, stuffing more pizza into my mouth just to avoid answering. "I need time to process this." His expression softened. "Maybe I'm just scared of losing you. You barely know me." "Love at first sight, baby." He winked. I bit my lip, silently agreeing. That spark had been there since the very first time I saw him. "Derek," I giggled nervously. "I've imagined this, but I never expected it to actually happen. I want you, but I have to think about Mom too." He grinned. "I knew you wanted me." I rolled my eyes but smiled, unable to deny it. As we ate, Derek kept listing little things he liked about me. My laugh, my hair, even the way I walked. Each word made my heart ache more, torn between desire and guilt. "Come on, kiss me. You know you want to," he teased. "Derek, you already got your kiss," I muttered. "Oh, don't you want to experiment?" he whispered. I gave him a look. "No." He sighed. "I didn't mean it like that." "Then what did you mean?" I asked softly. "I want to see what kind of relationship we can have." I crossed my arms and hid my face. Why did he make me feel this way? Wanted. But all I wanted was to be in his arms, free from judgment and fear. But instead, I fought against my own heart. "I don't know, Derek," I mumbled. "Stop denying yourself, Leo." He leaned forward across the table and gently took my hand. His voice was steady, certain. "From the moment I met you, I knew. You're the one. I don't doubt it, not for a second. And I'm not letting you go so easily." I let out an involuntary squeak, which only made him grin. "Squeal all you want," he teased softly. "I won't judge." I pulled my hand back to fan my face, my cheeks burning hotter with each passing second. When I finally looked up, his eyes were locked on mine, possessive, persuasive, impossible to ignore. "No one can know about us," I whispered. "Not my mom. Not your dad. No one." His lips curved into a smile. "I promise. Now, kiss me." Warmth rushed through me, sending shivers down my spine. "Not now," I whispered quickly. "Our parents are still here. Wait until they're gone." "All right," he said with a small nod, sitting back and finishing his food. I felt like I was floating in a dream, though reality pressed close around me. Derek was right. I couldn't keep hiding from myself forever. Still, the thought of my mom weighed on me. I loved her too much to cause her pain. My thoughts swirled. Is it even wrong? We aren't blood related. But what if she didn't approve? What if she sent me back to Italy? I shook the thought away. I have to be strong. "Steve, let's go, we're late," my mom called as she appeared in her silver heels and sparkling dress, smiling brightly. "You look beautiful, Mom," I said. "Don't talk with your mouth full," she scolded lightly, applying lipstick. Then she smiled again. "Thank you, though." Steve hurried down, adjusted his jacket in the mirror, and waved. "Take care, you too." "Bye," Derek called as they rushed out the door. The house fell into an almost awkward silence. "It's hard to believe you don't speak Italian," Derek said. "I wanted to learn some phrases." "I exaggerated," I admitted. "I know the basics. I went to an English school." "There are English schools?" he asked. "Yes," I laughed. "I can teach you a few words if you want." He smirked. "I'd rather see those lips do something other than talk." I rolled my eyes. "You're impossible." He raised a brow. "And you're not." I frowned. "No, I'm not." "Too bad." I gulped as he stood, his gaze never leaving me. My heart raced as I walked quickly into the living room and turned on the TV. Seconds later, he slid into the space beside me. "Do you trust me?" he asked quietly. I hope so." "Come here." My breath caught. Hesitantly, I moved closer. His hands settled firmly on my waist as he pulled me onto his lap. My face was inches from his, my heartbeat drumming wildly in my chest. I lifted a hand to his cheek, his skin warm beneath my touch. His eyes searched mine, soft but intense, pulling me in. Slowly, I leaned forward and pressed my lips to his. The world fell away. My heart surged with energy, my body flooded with warmth. His lips moved gently against mine, and for the first time, I wasn't afraid. When I finally pulled back, his eyes opened slowly, a smile tugging at his lips. "You're a good kisser," he murmured. "You're not so bad yourself," I said with a grin, slipping off his lap. "Wait, where are you going?" "You asked for a kiss," I teased. "So, I gave you one. What if I want more? What if I've been holding back all this time, and I just want to let it all out?" "Then," I said with a playful shrug, "you might be in for a lonely night." "Don't say that," he pleaded softly. "I just want you to trust me, and stop holding back." The truth was I had held nothing back. That kiss had been real, powerful, and it scared me how much it mattered. I pressed my forehead against his chest, listening to the steady beat of his heart. He whispered my name, but before I could answer, he stole another quick kiss. "Derek." I laughed, pushing at his chest, but he caught my hand and pulled me close again. His eyes glimmered with unspoken emotion. And just when the moment felt too much to contain, "Seriously?" Nicole's voice echoed from the kitchen. I froze. She leaned against the doorway, smirking. "Finally. Took you too long enough. I was getting tired of watching you eye each other all day." Chapter 7. I snapped my head toward Nicole. A slice of pizza dangled from her mouth as her eyes went wide. I slid off Derek's lap and sprinted after her. She slipped out of the kitchen before I could reach her and used the table as a barrier. "You told him," I said, circling the table. "I trusted you." "I didn't tell him anything," she mumbled around the pizza. "I just stuck my tongue out at him." "I don't care what signal you used, you still told him." I eyed the table, briefly considering a dramatic leap, then thought better of it. Steve would not appreciate a broken centerpiece. "By the looks of it, you don't seem that mad," she said, tilting her head. My jaw dropped. "Don't roll your head at me. You Vicky's teammate." "You take that back," she gasped, mirroring me. I dashed one way, she darted the other. For someone smaller than me, she moved like lightning. On my next pass, a pair of strong arms caught me. "Let go of me," I protested as Derek lifted me off my feet. "I have to talk to her sternly." "Breathe," he whispered near my ear. The calm in his voice untied the knot in my chest. He set me down gently. The second my feet touched the floor, I took off again. Nicole bolted up the stairs and locked herself in our room. I stopped outside the door, glaring at the wood like it could feel guilty. Derek joined me with a steady look. "What?" I snapped. "She promised." "Promises are sometimes messy," Nicole called from behind the door. "And I did you a favor. Now you've got Derek." "I don't have anyone," I muttered. "Whoa," Derek said, stepping closer. "5 minutes ago, you told me you loved me. That makes me yours, because I love you. And you're mine, because you love me." I was caught up in the moment. I tried, knowing full well it sounded flimsy. "You're easy to read," he said, half smiling. "Wipe that smile," I warned, pointing at him. "Oh, will you two just kiss already?" Nicole whined through the door. "No," I said, folding my arms. Something in Derek's face softened, and guilt tugged at me. I couldn't help it, he made the world feel lighter. My lips curved despite myself. I rolled my eyes and opened my arms. He closed the space in 2 strides and lifted me into a warm hug. I breathed in the clean scent of his shampoo and cologne, and he spun me once, making me laugh in spite of everything. "I'm hearing silence," Nicole sang. "I forgive you," I sighed. The door creaked open to reveal one of Nicole's eyes. I stepped back so she could come out. She slipped into the hallway, hands raised in surrender. "You two are going to be happy together," she said gently. "We're not together," I replied, glancing at Derek, who arched a brow. "I still want to be asked properly." I put on my best diva walk and left them in the dim hallway. "Let's watch a movie," Nicole called, skipping past me and practically floating down the stairs. "It's Friday, I don't want to go out." Do your parents mind if we get an on-demand movie? They don't, Derek said. I curled into the corner of the couch while Nicole stretched out on the coffee table, eyes glued to the TV menu. Derek pretended to watch the screen, but I could feel his attention on me. Do we really have to watch a movie? I asked. My voice cracked mid-sentence. They both laughed. Late puberty? Nicole teased. Very funny, I grumbled. Derek moved toward the single-seat chair I occupied anyway. I scooted over to make space, and once he settled, I leaned back against his chest. His legs bracketed mine, his arms wrapped around me. The noise in my head dialed down to quiet. We're watching a scary movie, Nicole announced in a comically deep voice. Derek pressed a light kiss to the top of my head. Warmth spread through me, and the rest of the room faded as the opening scene filled the screen. 1 hour later. Oh no, Nicole whispered, perched on the edge of the coffee table. Don't go in there. Don't. The actress opened the ominous door. A jump scare exploded across the screen. Nicole yelped. I told her not to go in there. They never listen. The story barreled on. A creaky house, clueless teens, and a villain watching through a hidden panel. Classic horror. I giggled at a badly timed joke, and both of them turned to stare. I shrugged and zipped my lips. Stay in your lane, brain. By the time the credits rolled, the three of us had drifted to sleep. Commercials murmured in the background. Derek's steady breathing against my neck worked like a lullaby. The front door opened. My mom's laughter sparkled through the room. I froze. Oh no. We look very cozy. Derek tensed too. Ah, look at them, Mom said, circling the living room. Honey, hand me my purse. They look like two little kids, Steve chuckled. I'm taking a picture. A soft click followed. I'm putting this on my Facebook. I exhaled quietly. They probably thought Nicole was the reason we were piled up like this. Thank you, Nicole. My mom is going to adore this picture, Mom said as her voice faded down the hallway. Their bedroom door closed a minute later. Derek stirred. Carefully, he eased me back onto the cushions and stood. I shut my eyes and pretended to sleep, curious what he'd do next, until strong arms lifted me. He carried me down the hall as if I weighed nothing. He nudged our door open with his foot and laid me gently on my bed. Footsteps retreated, then returned. The door clicked shut. For a long moment, I stared at the ceiling in the dark, heart calm and full. Whatever came next, I knew one thing. I wasn't alone. I was already drifting toward sleep when I felt Derek's hand. Don't you dare undress me, I murmured softly. I wasn't, he replied quickly, his tone shy and innocent. I was just going to take off your shoes. He pulled his hand back and stepped toward his bed. Good night, I guess. Whoa. I sat up, blinking at him in the dark. What do you mean, I guess? It's nothing. Don't worry about it. Don't do that, I said, shaking my head though he probably couldn't see. Don't just say something like that and not explain. He hesitated, then said, You know, my bed is bigger. Softer. Don't change the subject. I'm not. I'm just expanding it. I frowned, laid back down, and shut my eyes. Chickens. Think of chickens. 1 chicken, 2 chickens, 3 chickens. You're such a drama king, Derek teased. Suddenly, he scooped me up from my bed. My heart jumped from the surprise. What are you doing? I rubbed my eyes groggily. You're sleeping with me. I need you. You're so cute, you know that? I muttered with a sleepy smile. He set me down on his bed and wrapped his arm around me. Strangely, the world felt lighter in that moment. I didn't care if Mom walked in and saw us. I didn't care about anything except this. This was what I had wanted all along. To love and be loved. I slid my hand against his and locked our fingers together. He pressed his face against the back of my neck, and my eyelids grew heavy. Falling asleep like this was effortless. Good night. For real this time, he murmured. Good night, Derek. The next morning, I woke up from the deepest sleep I could remember. Derek's arm was still draped around me. We hadn't moved an inch, and for someone like me, who usually tossed and turned, that was strange. He yawned almost at the same time I did. Seriously? We even wake up together? The thought made me smile. It felt like one of those old couples in movies who fall asleep and wake up side by side. Sweet, almost too sweet. Then I felt something shift under the blankets. "Please tell me that's a phone," I muttered. "It's morning," Derek whispered in a raspy, half-asleep voice. I shrieked and tried to jump out of bed, but the covers tangled around me. "Derek, let go." "Oh." He loosened his grip, and I scrambled free, rubbing my chest from the fall. Thunder rumbled outside. Derek stretched, then opened the window. Rain poured heavily. "So much for the pool," I sighed. I slipped into the bathroom to brush my teeth, humming to myself. When I came out, Derek nearly bumped into me. He leaned in as if to kiss me, but I ducked and squeaked, collapsing onto the floor. "Brush your teeth if you want any lip action," I teased, puckering exaggeratedly. He rolled his eyes and walked into the bathroom. "Dirty mouth? Clean it up with Orbix," I announced in a fake British accent. When he came out, he smirked. "You know, I was serious about that haircut." "Well, now that you're not with Vicky, I can finally say it. Don't cut it. Your hair's perfect the way it is." "Whatever you say." He leaned closer and kissed me. I laughed against his lips, but then quickly pulled away, embarrassed. "That's a little much this early." "You're impossible," he chuckled. Before I could reply, the sound of footsteps made me freeze. Standing in the hallway was Vicky, arms crossed, glare sharp as a knife. "Derek," I whispered. "What?" he called back. "There's someone here to see you." "Vicky?" His voice was stunned. "How did you even get in?" She held up a key. Derek marched past me, his expression darkening. "Please tell me you were joking yesterday," she pleaded, reaching for him. He pushed her hand away. "No. You heard me clearly. We're over. And I want my key back." From the couch, Nicole yawned. "You see, Vicky here feeds on popular guys. Derek being one of them. That's the only reason she ever mattered at school. Without him, she's just icky." "Shut up, Nicole," Vicky snapped. Nicole only smirked. "People don't like you, Vicky. They fear you." "Big difference." Vicky twitched, clearly furious, but finally dropped the key into Derek's hand and stormed off. I stepped forward, wrapping my arms around Derek's chest. "You'll be okay." He sighed. "No, I won't. She's not going to stop until she gets what she wants. It would be easier if we just dated publicly." "I know." I rested against him. "But for now, let's take this one step at a time." Nicole groaned loudly. "I'm still here. Do you two ever stop being sappy?" I laughed. Derek just grinned. Later, Derek asked if I wanted him to cook something. Nicole chimed in, "I burn water." I shook my head, smiling, and stepped out onto the porch. Rain poured down in heavy sheets, soaking me instantly. I lifted my face to the sky and let the water run over me, washing away all the fear, all the weight. When I turned, Derek was already there, watching me through the downpour. "You're going to catch a cold," he shouted over the thunder. "Then why are you out here?" "Because if you catch one, I want to catch it too." My chest tightened. Society could say what it wanted. I didn't care anymore. I ran to him, pulling him close, and pressed my lips to his. For a moment, the rain, the thunder, and the world disappeared. There was only Derek. And for the first time, I wasn't afraid. Chapter 8. "I love you, Mom," I said, throwing my arms around her. She was warm and smiling today. I dropped to my knees and hugged her leg, something I'd done since I was little, letting her drag me along the floor. "Leo, let go. Only if you promise to stop working so much. Do I even have real parents anymore?" I groaned, still clinging. "Don't you have friends to hang out with?" she muttered, half teasing, half tired. I looked up with my best puppy dog eyes. "I don't have any friends." "Yes, you do," Derek said, thumping a water bottle lightly against my shoulder as he passed to the fridge. "You've got me, and since you've got me, we're going out." I swallowed. Hopefully Mom didn't read into that. Being a secret with Derek meant I overthought everything. I wanted to hold his hand openly, but not yet. "There you go," Mom said, smiling down at me. Your only friend wants to take you out. Off my leg, please. I let out a small grumble and rolled away, pure theatrics. I'm not a dog, I told myself as I stood and shuffled off dramatically. Is he always like this? Derek asked. Always, Mum said. It gets less annoying once you know him. I'm still here, I huffed. Ah, adorable. Such a cute little brother, Derek cooed just to poke at me. My jaw dropped. Oh no, he didn't. I grabbed the football from the coffee table. The moment Derek stepped out of the kitchen, I tossed it, aiming high, and it thumped into his midsection. He staggered back and fell onto the rug. Leonardo, Mom gasped. Apologize. Now. I checked my watch. Said nothing. What are you waiting for? She demanded, arms crossed. A minute. Leonardo. I rolled my eyes, went to Derek, and patted his shin. Sorry I hit you with the ball. He popped up and gently hooked an arm around my neck in a playful headlock. I flailed. Mom, he's fine. I retract my apology. Out, Mom said, pointing to the hallway for both of us. As we slipped away, I whispered to Derek, someone woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I heard that. Mom called. Behind our closed door, I sighed. So, when were you going to tell me we're going out? I already did, he said. You know what I mean, I said, nudging him. He turned, surprised me with a quick kiss, and I squeaked, pulling back. Mom could walk in any second. As long as we were under the same roof, no make-out marathons. I'm taking you on a date, he said. But you haven't even asked me properly. He gave me a look and tugged off his t-shirt to change, and I had to brace a hand on the bed. Too much handsome at once. You tease, I muttered. Come on, go out with me, he said, climbing onto the mattress beside me, grin softening into something earnest. Oh okay, I laughed, letting him kiss me once more, quick, sweet, safe. The door swung open. I shoved him off the bed by reflex. He thumped to the floor. Mom blinked at the scene, then handed him the house phone. It's your dad, she said, then looked at me. Stop knocking him over. When she left, I hopped up and locked the door. I mouthed sorry to Derek as he lifted the phone. I leaned into him and placed light kisses on his cheek and temple, the healing kind. Dad, you do know I have a cell? He said into the receiver, trying not to laugh. While his dad talked, Derek listened, and I felt a tug in my chest, guilt and gratitude mixed. He'd chosen me. I wanted to be good for him. I rested my forehead against his shoulder and held his free hand. No theatrics, just quiet. Dad, I've got to go. I'm heading out, he said gently, ending the call. He turned back to me with a smile. We'll talk fitness later. Heat rushed to my face. Nope. You are not seeing me like that, I said, flustered but joking. But I'm your boyfriend now, he teased. I coughed on air. Let's not sprint. Boundaries, remember? You're stubborn, he said, chuckling. I like it. He tapped my shoulder, too playful, but I tapped his cheek back a little harder than I meant. His smile dimmed. I'm not going to hit you back, he said quietly, stepping away. But what was that? I really like you. If I seem too eager, it's because everything feels new and a little scary. When you push me away, it stings. I thought you felt the same. My heart pulled tight. He was right, I did feel the same. I was just afraid of speed, afraid of being seen, afraid of messing it up. I'm sorry, I whispered, staring at my hands. I'm just scared. I don't want to rush. You don't have to, he said. But maybe don't swat me for asking. You swatted first. Playfully, he said, a half smile returning. I'd never push you past what you want. I exhaled, nodding. I'm sorry. It's okay, Leo. I brightened. I like it when you say my name. Leo, 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 he sang as he crossed the room, stopping with his hands at my hips. I don't know why, but I'm crazy about you. I don't know why either, I muttered, grinning despite myself. He brushed a light kiss to my lips and stepped back. Please get ready. We're going out. I grumbled something unintelligible and rummaged in my suitcase, flinging clothes onto the bed. When he disappeared into the bathroom, I hurried in after with my outfit. Under the shower's hush, I coached myself. Be kinder. Be braver. Don't let nerves turn into armor. Derek was good to everyone, and I wanted to meet him where he was. I toweled off, pulled on jeans, left my shirt for last, and slipped into a bathrobe because I wanted to pretend I was a wizard for 30 seconds. I opened the door. Derek paused his Xbox and stood. What's with the bathrobe? I blushed. Well, you said you wanted to see my, progress. I shrugged off the robe to reveal exactly nothing scandalous. Just me, shirtless, modest, and mortified. He laughed softly and stepped close, pressing a quick, respectful kiss to my shoulder. Butterflies. Always the butterflies. You look great, he said, hugging me tight. You don't need to change a thing. Oh, thank goodness, I sighed. Because I am entirely too lazy for a full fitness montage. He grinned, and for the first time all morning, everything felt easy. I broke the hug long enough to pull on my shirt. Okay, I said, smiling up at him. Ready for whatever you've planned. I rose onto my toes and gave him a soft kiss. Every time our skin touched, it felt like my whole world steadied. He lifted me easily, and I looped my arms around his neck, melting into the moment. Why did I ever try to push this away? Hey, your eyes, he said, brushing my cheek. They're shining. Are you going to cry? What? No. I blinked and laughed when I felt the dampness. Just a little emotional. But I'm okay. So, you really like me? Of course I do. From the first moment I saw you, I said, tugging playfully at his lower lip. Don't ever doubt it. He caught my hand, smiling. I won't. Promise. Now, let's go. Outside felt like freedom after keeping so many secrets inside that house. I headed to Derek's car while he locked up, breathing in the cool air like a reset. So where are we going? I asked once the wind was combing through my hair and the street opened up ahead. First stop, gas, he said, eyeing the gauge. Then the real date. At the station he unbuckled. Be right back. Leo boo, a voice shouted. I turned to see Nicole hanging half out of a friend's car, waving like a flag. I waved back. Where are you going? She called. I don't know, Derek won't tell me. First date, she yelled way too loudly. Heads turned. I slid down in my seat as she added, have fun. Text me. Derek returned, amusement tugging at his mouth. Heard that from inside the store. Is she always like that? I asked. She did it on purpose, he chuckled, finishing up at the pump. We pulled back onto the road. I plugged my music into the AUX cord and exhaled into the quiet. So, how do I give you hope? I asked. You make me happy, he said simply. You help me forget the hard stuff. I nodded. When did you know about yourself? Pretty young, he said. I wondered a lot. By gay, never really felt straight. Now I know, I'm gay. Nicole was the only one who knew. Your turn. Since I was born, I said with a tiny laugh. It just clicked over time. He took my hand and drove with the other. Ever dated or experimented? Nope, I said. You. He shook his head. No. Why do you sound relieved? I teased. He smiled. Because it means we get to share our firsts with someone special. My heart did a small somersault. I rested my head on his shoulder and let the moment settle. We parked in front of a small plaza. I beat him to the door, trying to be a gentleman for once. Holy, look at that lion statue, he said, handing me his phone. Take a photo of me, like, lying across it. Planking. Yeah. On go. He stretched out across the statue, absolutely serious. I snapped the picture and shook my head, laughing. We ducked into a bright, cozy frozen yogurt shop, smaller than 2 rooms, where a group of girls huddled and whispered in the corner. Derek passed me a giant cup. Get whatever you want, he said, pointing to the row of levers. I went classic, chocolate base, chocolate sprinkles, a handful of M&Ms, basically a chocolate mountain. We paid by weight, tragic, given my toppings, and headed back out to the sidewalk with our spoons. I like this place, he said. I took a bite inside. This is amazing. Not quite yogurt, Not quite ice cream, but perfect. Eat it all, he teased. When I kiss you, I want to taste it. I shot him a look and guarded my cup like a dragon with treasure. So, what now? I asked between bites. I don't think first dates have to be fancy, he said. We're going to the park, to the swings. That's cute, I admitted, smiling. Why are you so cute? He only shrugged, which somehow made it worse, in the best way. The park was just a block away, a wide, green space that felt like summer even in spring. We tossed the empty cups and wandered the path until we reached 2 empty swings. I sat, he took the one beside me. You're so down to earth, I said. Guess I'm just amazing that way, he joked. He swayed side to side until he bumped my swing, then leaned in and kissed my cheek. Butterflies everywhere. You blush a lot, he said. Then stop making me, I blurted, which made him laugh. I didn't expect to fall for you, he admitted, voice low. I thought I'd have a stepbrother I barely talked to. Then I saw you, and it felt like I forgot how to breathe. I promise there's nothing special about me, I said, suddenly shy. There is, he replied. You're special to me. My hands trembled. He held one out and I took it. I tried not to worry about anyone watching. You can't stay in the closet forever, I told myself. Be brave. I love you, he said, eyes bright with a hope that warmed the coldest corners of me. I don't need to think about it. I just feel it. I squeezed his hand, finding my courage in his. I love you too, Derek. Chapter 9. Mom, I whined as she shoved a hot pan toward me. Can you please focus before you burn me? Sorry, honey. She quickly pulled it back again. First, she wanted me to wash it, now she wanted it back. Sometimes I just didn't understand her moods. Everything has to be perfect. The house is fine. The kitchen is spotless. Just go and pick them up already, I said, trying to calm her down. The past week had been stressful for her. She was home most of the time, which was good for me but difficult for Derek, since with her around, we couldn't exactly act like we wanted. Now, our relatives from Italy were due to arrive within the hour, and Mom still had to drive with Steve to pick them up. I'm waiting for Steve so we can go together, she muttered. I caught Derek trying to sneak food from the table and quickly shooed him out of the kitchen. Not yet, I warned. We have guests coming. Don't eat everything. Mom fussed with the counters again, scrubbing at invisible dust. Mom, I said gently, stop cleaning. It's already perfect. She finally sighed, gave up, and disappeared into her room to get ready. Derek poked his head back in. I'm hungry, he whined. You can eat when everyone's here. He smirked. You know what I'd rather eat? I gave him a look. I can guess. But no. Rolling his eyes, he tried again. Want to play Xbox with me instead? I can't. They'll be here soon, and we need to give them our attention. I pressed a hand against his chest, but jumped when Mom hurried past. I'm going now, she said, grabbing her purse. Don't touch the food. She rushed out the door. The second she was gone, Derek tackled me with tickles. Derek, stop. I laughed, collapsing onto the floor as I tried to push him off. Seriously, stop. You're so cute when you laugh, he teased, still holding me down. I swatted his arm half-heartedly. Show off. It's called working out. He flexed, sticking his tongue out like a dork. I rolled my eyes but smiled anyway. Yeah. So, who's coming exactly? He asked, following me into the living room as I started arranging cushions and tables. My grandparents, my aunt and uncle, and some cousins, I said. And that's just a fraction of my family. Cool, he said. I caught him sneaking toward the kitchen again and shot him a glare. He put his hands up defensively and backed away with a grin. An hour later, I heard the van pull up outside. Voices and chatter filled the air before the door even opened. Excitement and nerves twisted in my stomach. I gave Derek one last affectionate look, silently telling him I'd miss being close until the visit was over. He smiled faintly and opened the door. Mom bustled in with suitcases, Derek quickly helping her. Steve followed, hauling more bags, and then my grandparents stepped in. Their eyes went wide at the sight of the living room filled with Steve's antique collections. Derek greeted them politely, but I caught a shadow cross his expression. He looked distant, maybe even a little sad. Guilt tugged at me. Being together in secret meant moments like this were harder. "Leo," a voice called. I turned and frowned. "Hey, Ryan." Ryan, my cousin, my least favorite person in the family. Just the sight of him made my nerves itch. "Leo." Another voice came, warmer this time. Stefan, my older cousin, tall and strong, swept me up in a hug like I weighed nothing. "Stefan," I gasped. "Can't breathe." He set me down, laughing, and patted my head. Despite nearly crushing me, I was glad Stefan was here. He was the kind of cousin I wished I could have grown up with. Ryan, on the other hand, was the reason I sometimes dreamed of hiding forks. "How's America treating you? School okay?" Stefan asked. "It's good," I said. "A little cold, but good." But the second Derek came into view, Stefan's attention shifted. "Is this your stepbrother?" "Yeah," I answered flatly, watching as he immediately walked off to talk man stuff with Derek. I grinned when Kate, my other cousin, appeared. She hugged me tight and tapped my cheeks playfully. "How are you?" she asked. "I'm fine. Better than expected," I said. "Are people being nice to you?" she asked, narrowing her eyes like she'd fight someone for me. "Why wouldn't they?" "I'm Leo the Great," I joked. "Is your mom here?" "She's outside on the phone," Kate said, giving my shoulder a playful smack. I rubbed my arm, smiling. "Good to see you too." Everyone assumed moving to a new country meant automatic bullying. But honestly, apart from one rude guy who had called me a name, things had been fine. And I hoped it stayed that way. I'm hoping to meet some cute American boys. "Your stepbrother is kind of a total babe." Kate's eyes widened as soon as she realized she'd said it out loud. "Thank you, Kate. You're a total babe too," Derek said with a wink. I frowned. "Really? What good was a secret boyfriend if he went around winking at other people? I thought he was supposed to be..." "Calm down, Leo. Don't act like a jealous stalker." "So, how's everything, Kate?" I forced a smile, though I wanted to roll my eyes. It wasn't her fault. She didn't know about Derek and me. Same old stuff every day," she said with a shrug. "Wait, so you can all speak English?" Derek exclaimed. "Where are the Italians who only speak Italian?" I nearly laughed. Did he really expect to need a translator? "It's called the internet, Derek. People pick things up." I almost called him baby, but bit my lip before it slipped out. This was going to be a very long week. Derek puckered his lips at me teasingly. "Who's ready for dinner?" Mom called from the kitchen. Me. Derek leapt up, tumbling out of the living room like a kid. Mom handed him a plate of food, and instead of sitting down with the family, he darted straight for our room. I glared after him, then slipped away from the chatter of my family and pushed our door open. Derek was already on the floor, plate in hand, eyes glued to the TV. "You should be eating in the dining room," I scolded. "Spending time with family." He shook his head, still chewing. "Why not?" He swallowed and said quietly, "I don't like being around people. Ask my dad." "Since when?" I asked gently. "Since my mom died." My arms dropped. "Oh, why?" "I just don't want to be reminded of how happy everyone else is with a mom." I sat down beside him, brushing the messy hair from his eyes so I could see them. My hand lingered on his cheek. "No mother would ever want their child to feel that way. Yours wouldn't want you to hide from people, Derek." He rolled his eyes. "Don't roll your eyes at me, mister," I said firmly. "Besides, you're a football player. Every time you're on the field, hundreds of eyes are on you. That's not hiding." "When I'm playing, I forget everyone's watching," he muttered. "Is that so?" He hesitated, then added, "I'm also a little upset your family is here." "Why?" "Because I won't get to kiss you when our parents are out. I won't get to hold you. I won't get to tell you I love you out loud." He ticked the list off on his fingers. I sighed. "Derek." "A guy can wish," he said with a crooked smile. "Mostly I'll miss just being close to you." "Wow," I teased lightly, trying to break the heaviness. "You really are dramatic." "I'm waiting, Leo," he said softly. That made my heart lurch. Don't make me say something I'll regret, I muttered, flustered. Then just kiss me, he whispered. I leaned down, cupped his face, and pressed my lips to his. His arms wrapped around me, pulling me closer until a knock on the door broke us apart. Leo? Can I come in? Kate's voice. Come in, I croaked, my voice shaky from nerves. She chuckled. My hands are full. I opened the door, and she handed me a plate of food before wandering inside. She looked around with wide eyes. This room is huge. And you have a pool? No way. I think Kate and Nicole would get along, Derek snickered. Who's Nicole? Kate asked. A friend, I said quickly. Oh, good. Kate grinned, plopping onto the bed beside me. She grabbed my arm. She can come shopping with us. Shoes, American shoes. I shot Derek a look. Kill me now. Don't be such a party pooper, Kate teased. I'll buy you a pair of high heels if you come. Seriously, I muttered, deadpan. Kill me. You look great in high heels, Derek teased in a fake girly voice. I growled at him. Jerk. Chapter 10. Leo. A hushed voice whispered. Wake up. Leave me alone, I mumbled, too tired to move. A quick kiss brushed against my lips. I groaned, rolled over, and buried my face into the pillow. Sleep was far more tempting. Hey, don't turn away, Derek said, sounding impatient. Leave me alone, Derek. Nope. He jumped onto my bed and wrapped me in a hug. His hands slid across my chest and I sighed. But I need my beauty sleep if I'm going to blossom like a proper flower in the morning. His touch, though, was strangely soothing, and I nearly drifted back to sleep. Then he started rubbing my stomach like I was a puppy. Oh great. I knew it. I'm not a handsome stud. I'm a puppy. Derek. I yelped, tumbling out of bed onto the floor. He was smirking. What was that for? I told you to wake up, he said simply. You didn't need to do that. My face burned with embarrassment, which only made him laugh harder. He pulled me into another hug and pressed his face against my neck, his voice soft. You're so cute when you're flustered. I sighed but hugged him back. So where is everyone? They went out for breakfast. I told them I'd stay with you and bring something back. Relief warmed my chest. Alone time was rare these days. I pressed a grateful kiss to his lips, and he smiled against me. You're the only thing I'm hungry for, I whispered. He chuckled. Careful. You'll make me want to keep you here all day. I laughed nervously, pulling back a little. Derek looked at me with that mischievous spark in his eyes. Come on, he said. We've got time to talk. About us. About the future. That stopped me. His words were heavier than I expected. I'd thought about it too. The secrecy, the what-ifs, what would happen if things ever fell apart. The fear of it all. I cleared my throat. Well, we're together, that's certain. He smiled, softer this time. We are. And I want to be with you for the rest of my life. My heart stuttered. Butterflies filled my stomach so fast I thought I'd float away. I stared into his bright blue eyes and kissed him hard, pouring everything I couldn't put into words. I love you, I whispered when we broke apart. I love you more, he replied, kissing me again. I rested my head against his chest, listening to his heartbeat, steady, comforting, real. My hand traced gentle lines across his shirt before I stopped myself. I smiled faintly, not trusting my nerves to behave. Derek, I said softly, sometimes I get scared. There's nothing to be afraid of, he reassured me. Easy for you to say. I don't want to mess this up. You won't, he said firmly. We're stronger than that. I looked up at him, and for the first time, I believed it. Whatever doubts and fears I had, they couldn't erase the simple truth. I loved him, more than I'd ever thought possible. I sprinted down the stairs and leapt onto the couch, ducking behind a small pillow like it could shield me. Too bad you can't outrun a football player. Where was Nicole when I needed her? Seconds later, Derek fell on top of me, pinning me with his weight. I shoved him off and scooted to the far end of the couch, giving him my best glare. He only smiled. What? Nothing, I muttered. Don't you love me? He teased. My jaw dropped. Of course I love you, Derek. A lot. Then love me, he said with a grin. I swear, I'll ground you, I warned, pointing at him. Go splash some cold water on your face if you're that restless. Come with me, he dared. Oh my gosh, are all American guys like this? I groaned. Pretty much. He plopped down next to me, slinging his arm around my shoulders. But you know I'm just being a guy. I care about you more than you realize. You have a funny way of showing it. That's because you won't let me show you, he said, a little pouty. I buried my face in the cushion to hide my blush, giggling despite myself. Derek always knew how to make me laugh without even trying. I tackled him with a surprise hug, and he hugged me right back. After a quiet moment, he asked, So, are you willing to stay with me for the rest of your life? I froze. My future felt blurry, especially with my family around, but deep down I knew I wanted a life with Derek. Only him. I looked into his eyes and whispered, I'm willing. He groaned dramatically. You make it so hard to resist temptation. Temptation of what? I asked, raising a brow. He gave me a look, and I immediately buried my head against his chest. Either way, it's not happening right now. I smiled. His eyes widened. Wait, are you saying someday it might? I laughed nervously. Maybe, but not now. He sighed, half frustrated, half playful. You're hopeless. Why is that? You compare everything to cartoons or comedy. And you compare everything to football, I shot back. We both laughed, tension easing. I touched his chest gently and whispered, Derek, I just don't think it's the right time. I don't want any pressure hanging over me. I want to feel free when it happens, not worried about my family barging in. Okay? His smile softened, and he nodded. I understand. I love you, Leo. I love you too, I said, hugging his neck and peppering his face with small kisses. Just then, the front door swung open. We froze. Nicole stepped inside, raising an eyebrow. You two should seriously lock the door. I sighed and chuckled nervously, resting my forehead against Derek's. My heart just exploded. Oh, by the way, your cousin's walking up the path, Nicole added casually. I jumped off Derek's lap, gave him a quick kiss on the lips, and dove dramatically onto the coffee table. The coffee table? Really? Nicole shook her head. You worry me, child. I'm home, Kate announced, arms full of shopping bags. Did you miss me? No, Derek answered instantly. Eep, Kate squealed, covering her eyes. Derek, go put on a shirt. It's my house, he said stubbornly. There are ladies here, she scolded, stomping her foot. Fine, he groaned and headed down the hall. Kate peeked between her fingers, then hurried over to me. Leo, oh my gosh, American stores are amazing. I bought you something. She rummaged through her bags and pulled out a wig. A wig? I asked. And a dress, heels, everything, she said excitedly. We're going to a drag show, baby. Just you and me. I dropped my head into my hands. This is my life. Chapter 11. I sighed, feeling like a rag doll being dressed up by my cousin Kate. While she and Nicole were at the mall, they spotted a flyer for a pride festival that promised drag queens, music, and fun. Kate immediately had the idea of dressing me up so I could go with her. And like an idiot, I agreed. It was strange, she didn't even know I was gay. Or did she? If she did, then maybe my mom knew, and maybe everyone knew. The thought was both fantastic and terrifying at the same time. Stop moving, Kate scolded, leaning closer with a brush in hand. I groaned as she applied more makeup to my face. Nicole sat on my bed, grinning mischievously as she held up a dress and heels. Why did I agree to this? And worse, how was I supposed to walk out of this house like this with my whole family downstairs? Why did I agree to this again? I muttered. They giggled. Because you secretly like it? Nicole teased. What will my mom say? I asked nervously. I already told her, Kate said, waving it off. She just laughed and said to have fun. She was okay with me dressing up as a girl? She didn't care at all. Honestly, she thought it was funny. Maybe, Just maybe, I had some hope. Maybe one day I really could come out to her. Are you almost done? I asked. Almost. Stop whining. Derek wasn't allowed in the room while Kate and Nicole worked on me. No boys allowed was the rule. The worst part was knowing Derek was going along with us. His excuse to his dad? Something ridiculous about wanting to see the performers. Typical Derek. By then, I already had the wig on. A long, sleek black one that gave me a gothic look. Totally not my style, but Kate was the artist here. She carefully applied red lipstick and stepped back. You've got such a natural face for this, it's almost scary. Great. Apparently, I made a convincing girl. Turn up the music, Kate said as Nicole blasted Britney Spears. I sighed again. If you keep sighing, you're going to release your soul, boo, Nicole warned. When the makeup was finished, they pulled me into the outfit. A short black dress that clung tighter than I was comfortable with, tall boots that went up to my knees, and, much to my dismay, fishnet tights. It was stylish, I had to admit, but oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Kate clapped her hands. Perfect. Tonight, Leo doesn't exist. You're someone else. Pick a name. Alice, I mumbled. Alice what? Nicole asked, raising a brow. Alice Storm. They squealed in approval. When I finally looked in the mirror, I barely recognized myself. My reflection stared back like a stranger, a girl who actually looked beautiful. The dark makeup around my eyes was dramatic, the wig framed my face perfectly, and the outfit tied it all together. I laughed nervously. Holy wow. That's not me. You look incredible, Kate said. You're going to fool some people tonight. I rolled my eyes but secretly felt a strange mix of pride and embarrassment. Moments later, Kate opened the door, blasting Britney Spears as my entrance music. I walked out, posing dramatically at the top of the stairs. Stefan took one look at me and literally fell to the floor laughing. Derek tripped over him when he turned and saw me, his jaw practically on the ground. I somehow managed to keep a straight face as I walked down the stairs. I have a hot sister, Derek muttered, face-palming just as Mom and Grandma walked in from the kitchen. Mom gasped. Oh my goodness. What have they done to you? You look amazing. Like the daughter I never had. She pressed a hand to her heart, half in shock, half delighted. Grandma squinted. Who is that? It's me, Leo. She burst out laughing, shaking her head in disbelief. Then Steve came in, took one look, and nearly choked on his drink. Stop laughing. I groaned, storming past them toward the backyard as they all cracked up behind me. My dignity had officially been sacrificed to fashion. I grabbed a seat near the pool and stared at the water, feeling oddly dramatic. Maybe this whole emo look Kate had given me was starting to sink into my mood. Derek and Stefan came out together, walking side by side like they'd been best friends forever. Same height, same muscles, same energy. You look good, Stefan said casually. Honestly, you could pass for a girl. I rolled my eyes. You're weird. If you had a different voice, you'd be completely convincing, he added with a grin. Yeah, well, I'm not planning on changing my voice anytime soon. They do those kinds of surgeries? Derek asked innocently. I shrugged. You look better than Vicky ever did, Derek teased. You should try out for the cheerleading squad. I groaned. I couldn't tell if he was joking, but the image of me walking through school like this made me laugh inside. Derek sat down beside me and leaned his head lightly on my shoulder. My stomach flipped. He wasn't supposed to do things like that when people could see. Stefan's coming with us tonight, Derek said. Stefan grinned. Guess we're all just rolling with it, gay for a day. I flipped my wig dramatically. Correction. I'm not gay, I'm a lesbian tonight. Right? My mistake, ma'am, Stefan chuckled. Derek picked up my hand and examined my painted nails. I sighed. To him, I was basically a walking art project. From upstairs, a loud crash echoed through the house. I sighed again. Nicole and Kate were definitely going to destroy our room at this rate. So, when are we leaving? Derek asked, releasing my hand, probably just an excuse to hold it in the first place. After the girls finished getting ready, I told him. Then we'll be here forever, Stefan said, and they both laughed. We finally waved goodbye to our parents, their expressions somewhere between concern and amusement. I smiled, trying to own it. Kate, Nicole, Derek, Stefan, and I all managed to fit into Derek's car, surprisingly without much trouble. And honestly, we looked kind of cool. Like 5 ice cubes cruising down the road together. Can you stop playing Britney Spears? I snapped at Kate, who was obsessively switching stations in the back seat. She just laughed and turned it up louder. The drive to the beach festival was about an hour depending on traffic. Turns out, we weren't the only ones heading there. Cars filled the highway, rainbow flags waving out of windows. A couple of guys even waved at me through their car windows, which sent Kate and Nicole into fits of laughter. You're just jealous I'm getting attention and you're not. I teased, flipping my hair. Totally, babe, Kate replied, still giggling. Derek kept sneaking glances at me the entire ride. I told him not to stare when the others were around, but he couldn't seem to help himself. Part of me hoped it was because I looked good, not because he wanted to embarrass me. Nicole leaned forward. By the way, Alice, there's a contest at the festival. Prize is $5,000. What contest? I asked, suspicious. She grinned. It's for guys dressed as girls. You'd win for sure. Both Derek and Stefan shouted, what? In unison. Figures. They only heard the part about the money. Don't worry, Kate said sweetly. You've got this. Finding parking took forever. When Derek finally pulled into a spot, Kate and Nicole celebrated like we just won the lottery. I stepped out of the car, tugging at the dress. Being out in public like this made me nervous. What if everyone knew? What if Stefan guessed the truth? And why was I the only one who had to be dressed up? Before I could overthink more, Kate and Nicole each grabbed one of my arms and marched me forward like proud best friends. Creepy, Stefan muttered behind us. We walked toward the beach where the festival was already in full swing, music blasting from a stage, rainbow flags flying, people laughing and dancing freely. For a moment, I stopped feeling so out of place. If they could all celebrate who they were without fear, maybe I could too. Hey, look. Kate pointed to a booth covered in rainbow lollipops. Naturally, she and Nicole bought the most outrageous ones and handed me one as if daring me to take it. I frowned, but then shrugged. At this point, why not? By the time I turned back, Derek and Stefan had vanished into the crowd. Where'd they go? Nicole asked. I shrugged. Who knows? We kept walking until a girl started dancing wildly nearby, pulling Kate into her antics. Kate, of course, went all in, leaving me covering my face in embarrassment. Please don't join her, I begged Nicole. Relax, she said with a smirk. Moments later, Derek and Stefan reappeared, both shirtless. Where did your shirts go? Nicole asked, wide-eyed. Don't ask, Derek muttered. I quickly cut him off before he explained. I didn't want to know. Stefan tossed Derek a shirt, but neither of them bothered to put it back on right away. My face heated as I tried not to stare at either of them. But then it hit me. Tonight, I was the one everyone was staring at. I was the one who looked beautiful. For once, I wasn't just jealous of their muscles. I felt like I'd actually won. An hour passed and we did little more than browse vendor booths and watch street performers. There were singers I didn't recognize, dancers, and all kinds of colorful festival displays. Some stalls pushed the boundaries of taste. I won't describe the cake I saw. Let's just say it wasn't exactly bakery classroom appropriate. Kate straightened my dress and gave me a bright, encouraging smile. Ready to win? I guess, I sighed. Go get him. She spun me around and gave me a playful nudge toward the backstage steps. I waited behind the curtain with the other contestants, a lineup of wigs, sequins, and nerves. The producer, a legendary drag host everyone called Miss Queen, was organizing us and cracking jokes to keep the energy up. My stomach fluttered. Everyone ready? Miss Queen called. A roar of cheers swelled from the crowd. I peeked through the curtain. The audience stretched back toward the boardwalk. I breathed, smiled. You can do this. According to Kate, all I had to do was go on stage, strut, and let the audience vote with their applause. Easiest $5,000 ever, in theory. Alice Storm, Miss Queen announced. I swallowed, stepped through the curtain, and the place erupted. Whistles. Cheers. People chanting my name. I lifted a hand and waved in my best, graceful way and tried not to trip in the boots. Wow. Miss Queen laughed into the mic. That's one of the biggest reactions we've ever had. The crowd started chanting again. Place. Smile. I did, right at Derek, who stood in the middle of the crowd, looking up at me with that crooked grin. My cheeks warmed as camera flashes popped. Miss Queen held a hand to her ear like a sportscaster. Do I even need to bring out the rest? I think we have our winner. Alice Storm. I exhaled so hard my soul practically floated away. Fastest job I've ever done. I jumped a little, waved, and tried not to burst into laughter. Somewhere in my brain a tiny voice whispered that Kate was an actual miracle worker. A few minutes later, Miss Queen handed me a giant novelty check. I thanked her, ducked backstage, and hurried down the steps, desperate to change out of the dress before my feet filed a formal complaint. That's when the shouting started. Alice! We love you! Photo please! I blinked. A small crowd of girls with phones had gathered near the ramp. I smiled, waved, and then panicked as more joined in, jogging toward me like a fandom tidal wave. I'm not famous. I laughed nervously, inching away. Thank you. You're very kind. They only squealed louder and kept coming. I turned and nearly ran straight into Derek. He scooped me into a protective hug and whisked me down the boardwalk faster than the crowd. I clung to his shoulders so I wouldn't slip in the boots. No wonder he's good at football. Derek's point of view. I still can't believe you got chased by fans, Kate said once we'd piled into my car. Leo flipped Alice, hair like he'd been doing it his whole life. Guess I'm just that good looking. He'd been in full character for hours, and I won't lie, I was starting to miss him. The real him. The one with the sleepy grin and the nervous laugh. I love that guy. And I want him to feel safe enough to be himself, not just for me, but for his family too. You all want food? I'm starving, I asked, starting the engine. Yes, please, everyone said at once. Leo passed the giant check to Kate. You earned this with all your makeup magic. Kate's eyes went wide. We're splitting it, 1,000 each. You don't have to, Nicole protested. Oh, we absolutely do, Kate said, daring anyone to argue. I drove to the Denny's I used to hit with friends on late nights. I don't mind letting that part of my life fade. Being with Leo is better than any team hangout. Table for 5, I told the host. Leo sat across from me. Perfect. I could look at him without being obvious. The server dropped off menus and took drink orders. So, Leo, Nicole teased, planning to dress up again? No, he said quickly, which somehow made him even cuter. Harry Potter this weekend? Nicole asked. Leo grinned. Only if we get the fancy snacks. The server returned for our orders, and the food came out fast. Burgers, fries, general chaos. Kate launched into a speech about American food culture, while demolishing her second burger. We tried not to laugh. Sup, Derek, a voice called. Ty, from the football team, swaggered over, eyes sliding to Leo, Kate, and Nicole. Who are these ladies? Hi, Ty, Nicole said flatly. I cleared my throat. This is Leo, my stepbrother, and his cousin Kate. And our friend Nicole. Ty blinked. Stepbrother? That's a dude. Leo didn't even look up from his phone. He's good like that, letting noise stay noise. We just came from a pride festival, I said evenly. Ty stared, then made a face. Wait, so and you're? My jaw clenched. I stood and met his eyes, calm but firm. Don't use that word. Not about him. Not about me. Not about anyone. Ty tried to laugh it off. Or what? Or you and I have a problem, I said quietly. Respect people. It's not hard. He shifted, glanced at the table, then backed away. Chillman. I'm out. I watched him leave, sat down, and let out the breath I'd been holding. Awkward. Kate sang in a high, theatrical voice, and suddenly everyone was laughing again. I looked across the table at Leo. He smiled, small and grateful. That was enough for me. Chapter 12. Leo's point of view. Do you think they know? I asked Derek, my voice low and nervous. He looked up from his video game with a puzzled expression. Know what? That we're together. Or at least that something's going on between us. He tilted his head. Because I defended you? They'd have to be imagining things. He turned back to the TV, though I could tell he was listening. I fiddled with the edge of my bedsheet, wondering what people really thought of me. Dressing up like that at the festival, walking confidently as Alice Storm, it wasn't exactly something most straight guys would do. Don't worry, Leo. Derek paused his game and looked at me with concern. I don't think they know. I sighed. I just want to be with you without hiding. But our parents, they're the only thing stopping us. He smiled gently. They can't stop us from caring about each other, no matter what they think. What we have is real. I can feel it. I blushed. You're so dramatic. And you're so cute, he teased. I looked away, my cheeks burning. Stop. Nope. I'll tell you every day if I have to. Now come here. He patted the spot beside him. When I leaned in to sit, he suddenly pulled me onto his lap. You know anyone could walk in, right? I hissed. Let them. We're not doing anything wrong. Before I could reply, footsteps thudded up the stairs. I scrambled off his lap just as the door swung open. Kate, the amazing is here, my cousin announced dramatically, arms spread wide. She spotted Derek shifting uncomfortably and raised an eyebrow. Everything okay in here? Derek bolted for the door. Dinner's ready. Kate sang after him, clearly amused. I started to follow, but she tugged my shirt. You two aren't doing anything questionable while we're downstairs, right? My jaw dropped. Kate, we weren't doing anything like that. And you can't tell anyone. Please. She smirked. Relax. I'm not telling. But you two don't exactly hide your feelings well. I groaned. Promise me, Kate. Your secret's safe. For now, she said playfully, poking my nose. Oh, and by the way, you still have makeup smudges on. I rubbed my face with both hands. I've washed it 12 times. Why won't it come off? She laughed. Welcome to the world of cosmetics. Downstairs, my grandparents and cousins were gathered around the table. Derek had already claimed a seat, eyes glued to his handheld console. I slid into the chair beside him, wishing I could hold his hand openly, wishing I didn't have to pretend. My mom smiled warmly as she set a pot on the table. Hey, sweetheart. Hi, Mom, I mumbled, catching Kate smirking at me like she knew all my secrets. Dinner was served, the usual chaos of voices filling the room. I glanced at Derek. He didn't look at me, too busy with his game, but I couldn't help admiring him anyway. Just being near him gave me butterflies. Leo, Derek finally said softly, what's wrong? Nothing. Nothing means something. I leaned closer and whispered, Kate knows? Of course I do. Kate called from across the room. How she heard me, I'll never know. Derek didn't flinch. Calm as ever, he slipped a reassuring hand onto my knee under the table. Everything will be okay, he murmured. The food was plentiful, and while my stomach protested, I pushed through. So, how's everyone enjoying their visit? Mom asked. Awesome. Kate sang. Fine, the others chimed. Lots of handsome guys at the festival, Kate added mischievously, glancing at me. I nearly choked. Kate, please don't. The Pride Festival, she clarified when Mom raised an eyebrow. Oh, yes, I've heard it's quite the celebration, Mom said, smiling. Kate leaned closer, grinning at me. Wouldn't you agree, Leo? You make a convincing girl. Are you trying to get me in trouble? I muttered. Derek snorted into his drink. Grandma cackled. You kids are ridiculous. Before long, Kate and I were tossing meatballs at each other while Mom scolded us to behave, Stefan ignored us, and Derek just laughed quietly. I love supportive people, Kate declared dramatically. I do too, Mom agreed, still smiling. Kate slammed her hand on the table triumphantly. Case closed. I buried my face in my hands. My family might drive me crazy, but at least they weren't cruel. Maybe, just maybe, there was hope. Chapter 13. Leo's point of view. Kate! I growled after dragging her into my room and locking the door. Why would you do that? Why would you try to expose me like that? I didn't expose you, she said defensively. I was actually helping. I wanted you to see that your mom doesn't care if someone's gay, she'll love you no matter what. You're overthinking. Listen here, you little bag of potatoes. I jabbed my finger at her. You don't know what it's like to be afraid all the time. To constantly watch what you say so you don't slip. Your family may be loving, but that doesn't mean they'll accept everything. Being gay is different. It's complicated. Her pout deepened, and her eyes shimmered. Did you just call me fat? I dropped my shoulders with a sigh. Talking to Kate was like trying to hold water in your hands. Impossible. Just, please don't do it again, I said softly. Let me come out when I'm ready. Fine, she huffed. I promise. Just then Derek walked in, giving us both a puzzled look. Kate giggled, darted past him, and shut the door behind her. What was that about? He asked. Nothing, I muttered, sitting on the edge of my bed. Just telling her to stop meddling. Derek stepped closer, lifted my chin, and looked straight into my eyes. Leo, you don't have to worry. Whatever happens, it won't change us. I'll never give up on you. My cheeks warmed. I pulled him down so he was kneeling in front of me, my fingers brushing through his soft hair. His lips were so close and I wanted to kiss him badly. He leaned forward, leaving a trail of gentle kisses along my cheek and neck. His warmth against me made me shiver. I really love you, he whispered. A giggle escaped me. I love you too. He pulled me closer, a little too eager, and I had to push him back. Not now, I said gently. He sighed. Sorry. Don't be silly. I smiled, though inside I was already plotting. Maybe tonight I'd turn the tables on him. The rest of the day passed quickly. With Molly home for the weekend, the house was full and noisy. My plan could easily be interrupted, but I hoped not. That night, Mom kissed my forehead. Good night, sweetheart. We're going to the park tomorrow, so get some rest. Good night, I said, stretching in an exaggerated yawn. Once she disappeared into her room, I crept upstairs. The hall was dark, and I used the walls to guide me. I nearly tripped on the last step, disaster averted. When I entered our room, the moonlight fell across Derek's bed. He looked peaceful, almost angelic. For a second, I didn't want to disturb him. But if I told him my plan tomorrow, he'd be annoyed I hadn't woken him. So, I slipped under his covers. He was so warm that the butterflies in my stomach went wild. I pressed a soft kiss to his lips. His eyes shot open immediately. Really? I frowned. He groaned, rubbing his eyes. Were you just trying to sneak up on me? No. I just wanted to be here with you. He muttered something incoherent and wrapped his arms around me, burying his face in my neck. I rested my head on his chest, smiling at the moment's perfection. Still, a mischievous idea tugged at me. Leo, Derek whispered, half asleep. What are you up to? Nothing, I said quickly, though my grin gave me away. Aha. His blue eyes glimmered in the pale light. You're impossible. Then kiss me, I whispered. He hesitated for a moment, then leaned in and pressed his lips to mine, slowly, sweetly. The world outside the room disappeared, and for that moment, it was only us. Thanks for listening to today's BL story. If it made your heart skip a beat, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Only here on BL Stories, where love knows no limits.